カーディKaizokuのビデオ見えちゃった？
なんでわかるんだ？
この毒が大好物。いただきます。
Kaardi Kaizoku.
Alright, so OP14 has been released on the sim in its entirety. Shout out to Batsu for getting it out even before the set released in Japan. And yeah, because it's available on the sim now and it's legal in Eastern, we're starting to see some OP14 stats show up. So this video is just going to be taking a very, very early look, again, less than 2 days worth of data of what people are brewing for OP14 leaders. The win rates and stuff isn't probably going to be too meaningful at the moment, but I just want to see what everyone's building as like a first draft for their decks, what everyone's experimenting with. So if that is something you're interested in seeing, stay tuned, but first a word from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by TCGX. Check out the brand new TCGX app. It lets you run your own local card shop. List your trade binder and instantly share it with friends nearby so they can buy and trade directly with you. Check out tcgx.gg to get started. This video is brought to you by Adakai TCG. Shop the latest in premium holographic textured custom One Piece cards. Designed for collectors, crafted to stand out. Use code CARDKaizoku for 15% off your next order. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. See the most up-to-date Eastern and Western deck lists on gumgum.gg, updated daily. Be the first to see deck lists for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. So yeah, as we mentioned, barely any games have played, not an insignificant amount, but definitely not a high amount, right? Boa being the most played OP14 leader with 7,544 games recorded right now. And this is compared to Nami, which is the most played leader in the Eastern queue because of EB03, right? Eastern kind of shares EB03 and OP14 at the moment. Even VV even higher than that. But yeah, we're going to start seeing some of these numbers climb as people are more excited for OP14 than I feel like they were for OP13. OP13 seems like a set that everyone's just tired of seeing Ace and Emu. They want to see new leaders, so we could see a bigger shift into people playing more OP14, experimenting with it, looking forward a couple sets ahead. On the Western side, at least. I almost said Western side. So yeah, as we mentioned, we're going to take a look at each of the OP14 leaders, and then we can take a look at their stats real quick. Again, it's a low sample size and everyone is just still figuring things out, so I wouldn't take too much meaning into any of the win rates at the moment. Right, give it a couple weeks for everyone to kind of figure stuff out. But I just wanted to take a look at deck list too, what people are running. So we'll just go in order of the most played. So first up is Boa Hancock, 7,544 games in the past 2 days. That's actually quite a lot if you think about it. But yeah, it has a win rate of about 50% right now. So I would venture to say that means more that the deck is easier to figure out than it is if it's good or bad at the moment. Right, that's what we can surmise this early on. Again, day 2, starting hand analysis. So everyone wants to keep the 2k Gorgon Sisters, 9-cost Boa, and then your Searchers with the Gloriosa. Matchup spread below, but again, take this with a huge grain of salt. I know people are going to screenshot this and use it as like their definitive argument, but I've repeated it like 5 times by now. This is very preliminary data, okay? Right, that's the last time I'm going to say it. Probably not, but good into VV, good into Emu. A lot of the OP14 leaders seem to have like anti-Emu tech printed for them, but unfortunately dies to like Nami and Zoro and dies to, oh no, Ace is not too bad. And I would say that this is actually a good sign for Boa. The fact that Boa's good into Emu despite Emu already being kind of figured out. The deck list for Emu is pretty much set, right? The fact that Boa, people just bum rushing onto the sim and then like playing their first draft and still doing well into Emu, I think that is a pretty good indication that Boa kind of beats Emu. And that makes sense because you can't really starve Boa Hancock, because if you kill Boa's characters, then Emu takes life, right? He can't turtle up, or they can't turtle up. I don't know the gender of Emu. And then Boa being able to trigger out so many bodies means that like if Emu tries to go for like an aggro play against your face, you'll get characters to just aggro them right back. Into Zoro, I can understand why Zoro could beat Boa just because Zoro can just clear the board, so you can't really keep this Gorgon Sisters on board. Likewise with Roger, you're triggering out a bunch of 5Ks, and then Roger's a 7K base, so that makes it harder to attack into him. Rigen and Luffy also gets quite the buff from OP14, I believe, right? And then it seems to translate really well into the win rate here. And then here's the most common curve of the 2 days worth of OP14 Boa matches. So I do see people running the Marigold package, and I don't know if this is in part due to my own fault. Even if Boa being the most played leader, is that my fault too? Because I did release a Boa video this week, but I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't think I have that much sway to influence everyone to play one leader. But we'll see if I do a second leader and that one becomes the most played. There could be some correlation there, but for now, yeah, it looks like this is what people are playing. And maybe it's not me, because I don't run this blocker Boa, so probably not me. But yeah, let's take a look at what deck lists people are running with Boa. So this one is the most played, 101 games by 22 different people. So let's check the matchup spread below. Played a lot against Vivi and Jinbe here. Well, you win really heavily into Jinbe, but let's open it up in the deck builder. Okay, so this deck, anything spicy? It's running pretty much every Kuja Pirate and Amazon Elite card. Right, there are some cards in here that I didn't run in my deck just because they weren't available in the sim at the time. A second version of the current patch release, which released the rest of OP14. So this is the full power of the deck. This one is not running the Marigold package. It is running the Blocker Boa. It's running the other Blocker Boa from the starter deck as well. I guess this is nice because it gives you the down on leader that you need anyway. And then yeah, it's all the trigger bodies with Renindo, Shakuyaku, Gorgon Sisters. Also runs the Kuma for healing, even though this doesn't have any trigger. But yeah, the healing lets you potentially trigger out something else, like any of these Marguerites and stuff. And then 4, the 9-cost Boa for late game. 2 of the Bedge events, this outright stops an attack. It's really strong. And then Perfume Femur for unblockable. This is also why it's good into Emu, I guess. Okay, so early Boa, I think this is how I would build my deck too. Right, eventually I probably would have ended up running this too. I'm still kind of on the fence on it. I know everyone likes it, but yeah, on paper, in theory, it sounds like a good card for the deck. For some reason, I didn't have any slots for it. I think I was running a bunch more other trigger characters. Alright, the Marigold takes up 4 slots, and then I also ran more of the 5-cost 7k Boa. Yeah, this is one of the most played Boa lists. We can take a look at a second one just to confirm if this is the case. So the second most played list is 86 by 28 different people. Let's open it up. So this one is running the Marigold package. Also still running the 4-cost Blocker Boa. So you can run both actually. What does this cheat out? It cheats out the 6-cost AK Boa, which is also, it's similar to the other 5-cost Boa, except this one doesn't need to discard a card to do it. I like this one too, just no Perfume Femur. I would figure you would want it in your deck, at least as a one-off copy. This one's only running 8 2k counters too, it's really low. The other one's running the full 12. This one's also running 8. I wonder why they can get away with it, because like even this 2k counter is one that you play out. I guess you heal a lot with Boa, and then you can just stop attacks with the event. That's enough for defense. This one's running a 4 of the event. Okay, so that's Boa. We'll move on to Mihawk. So Mihawk has actually the highest win rate of the bunch, right? 59 going first, 51 going second. But again, take it with a grain of salt. Really early data. 4,000 games only played. Looks like you run a lot of Peronas in this deck. This 5-cost Perona is crazy. And then the matchup spread is, as we see below here. Yeah, I might upload this. I did like a set review for OP14. I might upload this video before that, just because timing matters for this video. But it looks like this is also good into VV, good into Emu. Yeah, Mihawk does really want to Emu. A lot of his cards do counter the Emu deck. Good into Ace too. Good into Zoro too. Dang, is Mihawk the next meta threat? Good into Blue-Purple Luffy. Good into Red Green Luffy. What is he weak to? Weak to Bonnie. Anything else? No, I think Mihawk's just a overall good deck. Also a really simple deck. Maybe that might be why his win rate's so high. Here's his sample curves below. So it plays the stage, and then he can Mihawk into this Kinemon. I guess we'll read what he does when we look at some deck lists. Also runs the 5-cost Smoker potentially. And then you cap things off in the late game with your secret rare Mihawk. Okay, let's take a look at some deck lists. We'll look at 2 per leader. That sounds good, right? So 122 games. It's 23 different people have played it. Matchup spread below. Open this one up. For the second one, let's check out this one here. So 50 games, 58% win rate, 10 pilots. Okay, first Mihawk deck list here. Run in, yeah, like a bunch of Peronas. Both of the searcher Peronas. This one searches for Mihawk or Thriller Bark. This one searches for Slash. And then Humandrel is a 2k counter. This is a 2k counter. And then this Kinemon gives you 3 down back after you play it out. So it essentially makes this Mihawk free, right? You're getting 2 bodies for free there. Then you have still 3 down to use for your turn. You just swing with your leader for 8, I guess. And then this Tashigi is great, right? It has removal protection built into her card ability. More than once per turn too. For every card that you can tap, you can save this Tashigi. This Perona is really crazy. You can prevent 2 things from being rested. Cost of 5 or less. So this prevents things from attacking you. It prevents it from blocking too. And then when this Perona dies, it just replaces itself. The Shanks is also really good, right? You rest it on the turn that you play it out. You can make one of your opponent's 7k power or less characters become rested too. And then after that, whenever he attacks, when he can attack, that your turn when this character's rested effect works, activates like that. So it's like a when attacking, except you can also use it to pay for your leader ability, which is why they didn't make it a when attacking. And then yeah, when this Shanks is rested, it gives all your opponent's characters minus 1000 power. So this also counts when you're attacking too, right? So it's really, really strong. And then the secret rare is also really strong, 9 cost 10k. You just stop one of their things from attacking or blocking, and then turn any of your non-counter cards into 2k. Also runs the Law and Beppo to make your leader 7k base, but against Slash leaders, you're an 8k base, right? That's what his leader ability does, by the way. And then 3 Dead Man's Game to finish the game. What does this one do? So it's 2 Dawn to counter for 4k, but you can use non-Dawn cards for that second thing that you pay, right? You can use the stage for that. So essentially it's 1 Dawn counter 4k. As long as you have the stage, that is. And this stage can just easily be used to pay for the leader ability, right? You don't have to use your characters at all. You just need to have a 5 cost or more on board just to get 3 extra Dawn a turn. So very strong deck. Let's see what the second build is running. So this one's running less Perona Searchers. It's not even running the 5 cost Perona. So it's running more of a slash package, right? We see the Koshido here. We still see Mihawk into Kinemon. There's a Nami, the film Nami. You can rest up to 2 of your opponent's 8 costs and then you restand 5 Dawn at the end of the turn. Why does that help Mihawk at the end of the turn? Huh. Well, it's still a blocker, I guess. And it's like a Dead Man's Game, except you have a blocker, right? So they're running only 2 of the event. It's the same Dawn, right? This is 4 to rest 2 things, but this can rest Dawn cards too. If you only need to rest blockers, this can do that, I guess. But actually not too sure why this is run in this particular deck list. We have the Zoro that prevents resting of blockers, and then Smoker, Toshigi, Shanks, yeah, everything's the same. Oh, runs Doflamingo. But what do you do with the 5 active Dawn at the end of the turn? That part I don't really get. I don't know. So that's Mihawk. Let's take a look at Jinbe. So this might be one of the most aggressive decks of the format. Right? It has a good win rate going second. Oh, it seems to be really lopsided. Going first 47, second 57. The R-Long Searcher is an important card for the deck. Matchup spread below. So against like 6k elevated stat lines, you have trouble against Ace. I guess Ace can also mess you up by using Pudding to mess up your hand, because you need cards in hand to discard for your leader ability later on. Also weaken to Nami. Yeah, Nami can make herself a 7k base, but why is that not true for Roger? Maybe Roger's too slow, because yeah, Nami and Ace are elevated stat lines from the beginning of the game, but Roger isn't until the late game, and maybe Jinbe can like take him down quick enough that he doesn't get to 10. Also, good into Emu going second, but that's true for a lot of decks. Okay, let's take a look at his curve down below. So yeah, Searcher All-Long, Wadatsumi, Searcher All-Long, Shirahoshi into Wadatsumi, and then Fisher Tiger, and then you finish with the Jinbe in the late game. You're just playing a bunch of characters out and then buffing the board. A true like Anthem weenie deck, except it's blue. Blue Fishman is the white weenies of One Piece. So let's take a look at some deck lists for Jinbe. Okay, this one's 23 games, 2 pilots. Yeah, not too much played at all. Also think there's no like agreed upon early build. There's a lot of room for exploration with Jinbe. Meanwhile, all the other leaders that we looked at so far, I'm pretty sure their package is pretty set in stone. So this one's 49 games. So let's take a look at these 2 lists here. So yeah, we do see the 1-drops that get played out. If you use your leader ability, it makes them into 5Ks. Koala is a 2K that I don't really understand what it's used for. It's not searchable in the deck either, right? Because you're paying 2 Dawn to get plus 2k power. Isn't that something you would just put 2 Dawn with anyway? And then Kuro Obi for rush, Wadatsumi to attack. The 3 cost 4k R-Long lets you, or makes your opponent like bottom deck a card in their hand. That's pretty good. What this R-Long do? OP01 R-Long. If you can get your opponent to reveal an event card, you make them bottom deck alive. This is an OP01 card. I've never seen him used. That's pretty cool. Okay, we have Pudding because we're a blue deck, so we have to run Pudding. Aladdin is nice because you can play out another character. So can the Shirahoshi. So 2 ways to like cheat out extra bodies. Marco because we're blue, of course, and then the Jinbe for late game. Also run some removal. For an aggro deck, I wasn't expecting this. No Fisher Tiger. This is a really interesting deck list. But yeah, Jinbe has access to Unblockable with Perfume Femur, so it's kind of scary for an aggro deck. Let's see what the other build is running. Yeah, this one's running Fisher Tiger. I think this is what more I'm expecting, more in line with what I'm expecting. So the same 1 cost here. Runs Hot-chan as additional 1 cost. Also runs Hina. This is kind of like unblockable, huh? 2k count unblockable for 3, but you're also running the Femur. Kurobi, Wadatsumi is all the same. Yeah, just running the Fisher Tiger instead of all the random like removal events. This guy's pretty good. It gives you access to 3 activations of your leader ability, and then 2 red rocks just in case, you know, the block beards, get rid of them. Okay, that's Jinbe. How about Crocodile? So this one, a lot of people are keen to see how he performs. Looking like not too good at the moment, but I think this is just a hard deck to figure out too. So that could be why. And again, only 3,000 games here. So 43 going first, 50 going second. Starting hand, you want to keep the Miss Valentine Searcher and your Bon Clay and your 8 cost. These are like your 3 core cards here. So people haven't figured out how to beat Emu with it or Ace, but Zoro, you do pretty good against them, right? You kind of go even with them. That's about all the good stuff I can say about Crocodile at the moment, until people figure him out more, right? I think there just needs to be more time cooking for this. So here's the most common curve. Yeah, you just want to set up this Miss, what is she again? Wednesday? Yeah, it's Vivi. But you set her out early, then you get your Blanc Clays out, and then you play your Daz bonuses and stuff. Then you do your Robin on your 5th turn, and then you Croc from that point on. Croc forever. So they don't drop Croc on 9 Dawn, right? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So it looks like Robin's the more played option on 9 Dawn over Crocodile. Meanwhile, if you're going second, you play right away, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. And then on 10, you pop your Crocodile and then play your Robin after that. And then past that, that's when you start chaining your Crocodiles. Okay, let's take a look at some deck lists here. So this one's 42 games by 4 people, 23 by 4 people. Let's take a look at both of these. Okay, so this one, yeah, it's just running every Baroque card in this set. The best ones being like the Bon Clay, the Das Bonez, and then Miss Wednesday, and then All Sunday, right? This is your combo. You play Miss All Sunday out to play out 4-drop and a 1-drop. So you'll play out Mr. 2, and then you play out Miss Wednesday here. And then you would use your leader ability on Mr. 2, pop him to bring out a 5-drop, which would be like a Das Bonez or something. Using your leader ability, you give -10 cost or something, so whatever you tag, you can rest with Das Bonez. Then you use Miss Wednesday to give it -2k, and then you can attack 6k into it on the turn that you played Das Bonez. Your leader can swing into it too, and then hopefully after that you can set up some Crocodiles to stall. Right, Crocodile on the turn that you play him can stop 2 things from attacking. One from his on play, and then when you KO him with your leader ability, you can trash a card to make him on play again. So that's kind of how that deck works. So let's see what the second list is running, if it's any different. The core things are the same. The only thing different is the 2k counter choices. This one's running Shirahoshi. This one's running this blocker VV, and then the Merry Christmas as a 2k. Is this one running Merry Christmas? Yeah, what's different then? 12 2ks, 12 2ks. Which one is the odd one out that I'm not noticing? Oh, Golden Week. This one's running Golden Week. This one is not running Golden Week. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just a 1-drop that you can pop. Oh no, it has to be Baroque work, so I don't know. This is 4 less targets to pop for 1 Dawn, because this one has Golden Week to be able to do that. But in terms of events, it runs the 4k counter for 1 Dawn and then the Searcher. And that's true for this deck as well. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this Mr. 3, but both are only running it as a 2 of, so that kind of confirms my suspicion. This card is kind of meh. Okay, let's move on to the next leader. Purple Doflamingo, 3,635 games here. People have not figured it out, or maybe this deck just isn't that good, but 47 going first, 42 going second. Dice to everything, it looks like. But good into Roger. I would figure he would be good into Emu, just because that 10 cost Doflamingo is good into Emu, but maybe the rest of his deck doesn't compensate for that. But most common curve, you Sugar Search, 4-cost Sugar into other characters. Yeah, you're just playing a bunch of Sugars and then you chain Doflamingos in the late game, it looks like. So let's take a look at some sample deck lists. So 31 games by 1 guy and then 34 games by 9 different people here. Okay, this Doflamingo deck list is only running 3 of the 10-drop. It does run the 8-cost Katakuri. Maybe that's why it's having to rely on non-Don Quixote cards in the deck. Right, and then you have this Rosinante giving you down every turn, but what you're running in events, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events, but they're pretty good events. Right, this one's 4k, lets you ramp. This one is 4k, but you stay at 7k base if you use it on your leader. Normal Beam is good too. What's Everwhite do? Okay, there's just ramps, or it counters your leader. I don't know how I feel about this. The fact that like Rosinante doesn't give you as much value just because you're running low events makes me feel like, why are you running it anyway? But then you have Monet as a target, this vanilla, or this new Monet that you can play out with this Doflamingo here, so I guess that makes it worth it. You can even play out Virgo, but yeah, it's not like a turbo ramp deck, right? You just kind of naturally get to 10 and then you can use your leader ability for free, because you can make your opponent redirect one of their attacks into any target that you want if you down -1. Okay, so that's Doflamingo. Let's see the other Doflamingo. This one's a little different. It runs Portia to ramp early on. No, this doesn't ramp, this deramps you, but let's look for a Foxy Pirate. What is it looking for? So this looks for another Portia, but it would also look for Normal Beam, which I don't see run here. Huh? But also this Portia can play out a 4k power purple character. So you play out Gladius. I guess you can play out Sugar with it. So it's free basically, because you minus it on and you ramp it back. I mean, I guess. That's the only target, right? Sugar and Gladius are the 2 main targets here. And then only 2 of the 10 costs in this deck. Doesn't run the Monet 2k counter? Why? There's no 2k counters at all in this deck? There aren't. What the heck? Wait, 9 people are playing this list, right? What does it win into? Maybe this deck list is better? Let's take a look at this one. 76% win rate, 17 games. Okay, this one's running 10 2k counters. It's trying out the Senior Pink here, and also the Treble. Yeah, this one's more ramp oriented, I think. Right, this helps you get to 10 ASAP while being safe too. Okay, so those are the 2 purple Doflamingo builds. Kind of 3, because we saw one that didn't run any 2ks at all. Interesting. Okay, here's Red Law. 2,563 games. I didn't expect him to be so unpopular. He's second to last, but here he is. 45 going first, 43 going second. Can beat Emu going second. Completely dice to Ace and Nami, and Zoro is not as bad, but pretty bad still. And then Roger too. It could just be that people need to figure out the deck list as well, right? I don't think, well, me personally, I'm not running the Zoro. Hidden Killer I can understand, but this is the common curve here. So let's take a look at some deck lists. Okay, 60 games by 15 people and then 77 games by 13 people. That sounds pretty well tested for early stats. So people are running Makino to buff any of these 1-drops for an additional 3k, I guess, when you're copying the base power of another character. This one gives you Rested Dawn. I was kind of mad on this guy. But yeah, Uruj is your card draw engine, and then for late game, it's just Bonnie, Zoro, and Law. Yeah, pretty standard. They're running 2 Shambles. I wonder why people aren't running the 4k counter event. I think it's pretty good, personally. That's just me. But yeah, this is kind of how I would build my Law deck too. I think I don't run Shambles in my deck. I just want to be more aggro. So let's take a look at the other deck list. Okay, this one is running no events at all. Or Uruges. This might be... Is this an older deck list from before the new patch that introduced the new cards? Let's take a look at a different list then. Because I don't think you ever want to not run Uruj. This one's 44 games by 6 people. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, it's pretty much the same thing, except it runs the event searcher. I also like the Sanji for unblockable here. Yeah, it looks like everyone's just building Law the same way. Okay, and then lastly we have Gecko Moria. Black, yellow Gecko Moria. The least played and also like the worst performing at the moment, it looks like. No, Crocodile was worse. Oh no, it wasn't. Yeah, this is the worst one. So, 38 going first, 46 going second. Kind of loses to everything, it looks like. And then here is the most common curve. You're playing a bunch of cards out with each other, so it's kind of hard to really see what are your key cards. But I guess it's the highest costed thing, because that usually plays out the other thing for the turn. So let's take a look at some Gecko deck lists. So 30 games by 1 person, and then 113 by 28 people. That's a lot of people, actually. Alright, this Gecko deck list, not running the stage. I don't think the stage is the call either. And then yeah, a lot of the yellow Thriller Bark Pirates let you play out any Thriller Bark Pirates card from your discard. That's what I like about these cards. They're not playing themselves out, so you can always target like your best one, which is like this Perona most of the time. Because on play or on KO, you can make one of your opponent's 6 costs unable to attack. So it's kind of a like go wide, aggro, but stall kind of deck, just because you can stop things from attacking you, and you can also heal with your leader ability here. But then also you can pop something with your leader ability to buff your entire board. You have Absalom as a searcher, Sindri as a blocker that can on trigger play out. Again, you're always going to be playing out a Perona, either this one or the EB03 version. Right, this one gives you a Dawn on leader and also gives you another body on top of that to pop with your leader ability. And then for late game, you have both this Gecko Moria that plays out a 4-drop and then this Gecko Moria that plays out a 4-drop. Or you can heal with it too. So both of these can target everything in your deck. Then you also have Boa. Because we're a 7 Warlords leader, Boa actually works for our deck. So this is also a great way to heal, potentially get more triggers, and also like damages your opponent at the same time. In terms of events, you have the top 3 searcher that discards because you do want to fill your discard. And then Brickbat, which can counter 3k on a leader or a character if it's Thriller Bark, which is pretty good. And also the trigger too. Yeah, so many ways to trigger out Peronas really easily. There's also the Hogback for some recursion too. Yeah, I guess this is good to pick up either of the Gecko Morias back to your hand in case you discard them by accident. Or even if you trigger them, they go to your trash, right? So you can pick them back up to play from your hand. What's the other Gecko list look like? It's probably going to be the same. Oh, it runs Ryuma. What does this guy do? On KO, draw 2, trash 2. Okay. And then he has a trigger that we want. Also runs Flame Split. And no EB03 Perona in this deck. Okay. And also only 8 2k counters. I guess it relies on this Perona stunning and then you healing with your leader ability a lot. But yeah, I think people just have to figure out this deck list as well. He's not completely bad. I think just compared to the other decks, nothing like super crazy overpowered. And yeah, that's all the OP14 leaders, the first 2 days of brewing and deck building everyone's been doing. Some early preliminary stats too, but we're mainly just doing this video just to look at deck lists and see what everyone's building. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you guys are going to be building too, if you guys have figured out some secret tech that the rest of the masses have not yet. I guess you could either keep it to yourself or just let us know in the comments below. And check out my other videos if you're a new subscriber or new viewer who's not subscribed. I would appreciate it if you did subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Car D Kaizoku.
Da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da.